Greetings from Mallaig in Scotland. A few weeks ago I set out with the crew of the ocean rowing boat Roxy to row around Britain. 750 miles, 50 portions of Babybel cheese later, I thought I'd give you an update on progress. Roxy carries up to 12 crew members, 6 on the oars rowing and 6 eating, sleeping or queuing up to use the toilet facilities. When conditions are good, we row continuously in a shift system, 3 hours on the oars and 3 hours off, 24 hours a day. Regardless of the night we've had, my favourite is the dawn shift at 4:30 a.m, where the day feels full of hope and we're most likely to be joined by dolphins. For me, as a natural early bird, the night shift is the toughest and the time I'm most likely to resort to a Jelly Baby overdose, which I later regret, or to singing Christmas carols, since I can't remember the words to any other songs. Our trip is split into 6 one-week legs. Leg 1 was 350 miles from Essex along the south coast to Penzance, and the highlight for me was when my brother came out on his motorboat to deliver ice creams as we passed my home on Hayling Island. A low light was a collision with a French sailing boat, which seemingly emerged out of nowhere in the early hours of the morning. Fortunately, a broken oar was the only casualty. The Leg 2 plan was to go from Penzance up to Belfast in Northern Ireland. We started well, steaming round Land's End, but turning the corner, the weather took a turn for the worse, and we were forced to shelter in St Ives for 36 hours. The prevailing wind is supposed to be from the southwest, but not in June apparently, or July for that matter, and we faced persistent northerly winds. We battled our way across the Bristol Channel, inching forwards despite huge amounts of effort. 2 of the metal outriggers which hold the oars snapped and were repaired impressively in record time by our skipper Charlie so that we could keep going. Riding Roxy in those ways was how I imagined riding a bucking bronco in the rain. We eventually made it to the Welsh coast to be greeted by the local puffin colony. We had a welcome boost from the tidal whirlpools at Ramsey Sound, hitting a record 11.2 knots. But progress was short-lived and we were halted by northerly winds yet again. We were forced to accept that there would be no way to make up for lost time. The crew reluctantly got on a minibus and Roxy was trailered up through Wales and re-entered the water at Stranraer. I was absolutely gutted. The silver lining was that I got a bit of extra rowing practice in with Stranraer's Skiff Rowing Club. We rowed across to Northern Ireland and met up with the crew for Leg 3 in Glenarm, just north of Belfast. It was a baptism of fire for the newbies on the trek north to Oban, and several of them suffered debilitating seasickness. Fortunately, the seas became much tamer as we navigated past Mull, and we ended Leg 3 with a bit of a breather and some wild swimming off the Isle of Rum. One of the biggest challenges for me, ironically, has been sleeping in the short amounts of time that we have between rowing. And since I was tracking my sleep, I know that I was averaging only about 4 or 5 hours when we were out at sea. Overall though, I've been loving it and I've been agreeably surprised by how quickly my body has adapted to rowing 12 hours a day. Initially at least my hands were the hardest hit, but they seem to have recovered and I'm hoping that they're now bulletproof for what could be our toughest leg yet up towards Cape Wrath tomorrow. As many of you know, I'm raising money for the British Heart Foundation. My dad had a heart operation 3 years ago and it's only because of research from the BHF that he and many other dads and mums out there can be here to follow this journey. I am over the moon that we've already raised over £4,500 for the British Heart Foundation. This means that we can already fund 9 community defibrillators, which could be the difference between life and death. Every donation that you make will make a difference, big or small. So a huge thank you to everyone who has already supported this journey. And for the next 3 weeks, I'll keep you posted.